Your potential means nothing if you never fucking use it. This one's for the savages. For the guys that already know that they're better than most, but still wake up with that quiet voice saying, you could be so much more. You're not average. You've got the body, you've got the bag, you've got the schedule, shit, you've got the lifestyle. You look the part. But deep down, you know that you're not all in. And that is what's holding you back. I say this because I was there. A year ago, I was in Colombia. I was a remote closer, traveling across the world. I was in the gym, dialed in, money was coming in. And then when I was out there, I left my job and I actually closed my first fitness coaching client. And I remember this vividly. I was in Medellin, Colombia at the Airbnb. I was on top of the roof overlooking the city. And I was just feeling like I just cracked the code. Like I felt pure joy at that moment because not just because I made some money, but I did what I said that I was going to do. For a second, I really believed that I made it. But looking back, that was really just the beginning of the end because I mistook potential for progress. I had the vision, but I did not have the identity. And identity is everything in this life. I, at that time, looked like I was winning, but I was not aligned. I was still kind of doing the work. I was working out, but not going hard. I was eating clean, but I really wasn't like dialed in. You know what I mean? Like I was essentially just coasting. I was posting less. I wasn't building anything long term. And when that momentum dried up, I did too. And it's because I never became a real business owner. I never became the kind of man who executes without needing hype, energy, or pressure. I was still waiting to feel ready. I was still letting discipline be optional. So I ended up coming back to the States. And I wasn't broke. I wasn't at rock bottom, but I definitely was disconnected. I was ashamed. And I was just not proud of myself, if I'm being honest with you. And the trap for high performers is that you're already ahead of most people. So nobody pushes you. Nobody ever questions you. Nobody sees that you're still holding back because you're probably so far ahead of most people. They think that you already got shit figured out. They think that you're already good because you're in shape, you making money, you got the lifestyle, you know what I mean? Like, so nobody can really know when you're not going 100% besides yourself. But and you're the one that has to sleep with that shit every single night. Because the reality is alignment equals momentum. The real shift didn't come from another podcast or new content ideas or a better routine. It came from being aligned with that version of myself that I knew that was always there. When I stopped living around my vision and started living from it, when I stopped hoping to feel like the man I wanted to be and started just acting like him on a day-to-day basis, that's when the game changed. And not because I had more motivation, but because I started moving like someone who already had what they said they wanted. So identity always comes first, and then discipline precedes it. Because when you become the type of person that just does the shit that you need to do, you become disciplined automatically. It's not something you have to just white knuckle your way through because that's a part of your identity. It's a part of who you are. I don't have to discipline myself to go work out. I work out regardless of how I'm feeling because I identify as a healthy person. I identify as a high performer. I identify as an athlete. So that's what just athletes do. I identify as a creator, so I create content. Even when I don't feel like it, even when I don't have ideas or whatever it may be, because that's what I identify myself as. Everybody's trying to get disciplined. They're trying to force consistency. They're trying to keep themselves motivated. And that is just, it's ass backwards. You're not inconsistent because you lack discipline. You're inconsistent because you haven't shifted your identity. Because when you believe deep in your gut, in your soul, that you're the type of person that executes, you don't need fucking motivation. Because you just move because that's just how you move. You just wake up knowing you need to get shit done and you get that shit done because you're the type of person that gets shit done. You see what I'm saying? The version of you with insane consistency and clarity already exists. You're just not aligned. You're not aligning your daily actions with him yet. And that's the issue. Because when identity and alignment meet, that shit becomes a drug. Nobody tells you that discipline gets addictive when it aligns with your identity. Because you're not chasing dopamine. You literally become it. Like every time you go to the gym when you don't feel like it, every time you post content, even though your past videos started flopping, or you just push through comfort, or you push through when comfort tells you to slow down, You're stacking proof. Like, that is the best fucking drug when you realize that you're actually doing the shit that makes you who you say that you're gonna be. You know what I mean? Like, you stack that proof, and that proof compounds into confidence, and that confidence turns into identity. And now you're in a loop that just creates savages because you see yourself doing the work, so you want to keep doing the work because you see yourself actually doing it, and then you like who you're becoming because you're actually doing the shit that you need to do. And that's the purest fucking dopamine on earth. It's better than playing any video game, doing any doom scrolling, better than sex even, or like any drugs or drinking, because like you are feeling yourself shift in real time. Like when you start actually stacking days, you start going to the gym, you start doing the outreach, you start building the business, and you see yourself in these moments getting locked in and just doing it. You're like, fuck, I actually just did that shit. And then you look back and it's been a month, 2 months, and you're like, oh fuck, I've been doing this shit. Like, I'm him now. I'm actually that guy. Like, I'm not just playing pretend anymore. Like, this is really who the fuck I am. And that shit just makes you damn near bulletproof. Makes you feel like you're bulletproof. You start walking around different. Your posture changes. Your energy changes because you're doing the shit that you always said that you're gonna do. Because you're aligned with that identity that you've always known was there. That's why the discipline becomes easy, because you're just doing, you're playing the role. You know what I mean? Like, you're just doing what needs to be done on a day-to-day basis. And when you see that shit happening, it's amazing. But most people never feel that. Most people chase achievement to fix how they feel about themselves. They chase goals hoping the win will erase the self-doubt. But the real ones know that it's never about the fucking goal. It's about who you become to actually reach the goal, and who you get to stay as when you keep showing up. Obviously, we've all heard the saying that, the destination, the journey is the destination. And that means like the type of person that you need to be to get the penthouse, or to get the farm, or to get the lamb truck, or to get the wife that you want. That type of person, the person that you have to become to get those things, is the whole point of it all. Because the you currently right now obviously does not have those things. So something needs to change for you to become that type of person that gets there. And you don't just wake up one day after reading enough books or watching enough podcasts and you just become that guy. It starts by taking those inspired actions on a day-to-day basis and maintaining that internal belief that you're already him. That when you get the girl or the car or the house or the money, like, that shit isn't going to do anything but just affirm to you what you've already known. Like, you can't make those things be on a pedestal. You can't pedestalize anything outside of yourself, because the higher something can bring you up, the lower it can bring you down. So you need to already make those feelings of, being abundant, rich, secure, loved, whatever it is. You need to make those feelings a norm right now without it. Even though you only see $1,000 in your bank account, you need to feel like a fucking millionaire. You need to put on your most basic clothes like they some designer. You need to hop in the hoopty and drive it like it's a fucking Lambo. You know what I mean? You need to maintain that same energy, so when reality actually shows it to you, you don't just trick it off. Your nervous system is already regulated because you've been operating on this type of time. The world is just catching up, and it's not a surprise to you. So lock in like it's a single player game. Because the moment I stopped playing a public game and started building like nobody else was watching is when everything clicked. It's when I stopped comparing myself to other people. I stopped looking over my shoulder. There was no more, where should I be by now because of how old I am, and this person made this at this point in their business. No, it was just me versus me. And that's how it'll always be. And that's when the identity really locks in. Because when you play the game like it's single player, you get real data, real results, and real momentum. And nobody can take that away from you. The last thing I'll leave you with is that potential doesn't mean shit if you don't prove it. Being good is cute. It'll get you claps, likes, maybe even a little bit of money, a decent body, but it will not bring you peace. It will not build you legacy, and it definitely won't give you that undeniable self-respect that comes from living full out, 100% dialed in. You know what I mean? If you want to feel locked in again, turn the potential into execution. Make alignment the main goal, and let discipline come naturally, because it's just what men like you do. You're not far off, but almost was never the goal. Become the man most people never meet. Not later, right now.